Join, fine. So now we are starting the electric dipole. So electric dipole will be, it is an arrangement of two-point objects with charges plus q and minus q separated by a very small distance, So electric dipole will be an arrangement taking two equal but opposite nature charge particle. Okay, one is plus q, another one is minus q. When these two charge particles, though they are separable particles, but they are located at 2 points very close to each other, in comparison to the discussion of any external point which is considered to be comparatively much larger distance than that of the distance of separation between the charges plus q and minus q. So if I take one charge plus q at A, another charge, for example minus q at B, and if it is taken at a distance of 2L from each other, this is a conventional distance, you can even take it L also. So it is 2L because from center I can take L distance for each of the charge particle from the center of the dipole. Okay, the line joining plus q and minus q is known as the dipole axis. This is the line which joins these two charge particles, point charge bodies, and this line joining is called the dipole axis. Now, as we have discussed the electric field, electric potential for single point object as the fixed charge body, in a same way we can also calculate the electric field and potential for this set of 2 point charge particles known as plus q and minus q separated by distance 2L. So we can calculate the potential as well as field anywhere along the line joining the charge bodies given, or along the perpendicular bisector of the line joining, or at any other point, right? So generally we discuss about the potential as well as the field due to this arrangement of 1 plus q and minus q taken together. Usually we discuss it at 3 different points. One point is definitely on the axis of the dipole, another point is on the perpendicular bisector of the dipole, and we also discuss about the potential as well as the electric field at any general point which is neither the axis position nor the perpendicular bisector position. Okay, so one by one we will discuss about the effect of this dipole, the effect of the potential and field value due to this dipole at all these 3 different positions what I have said. So first we will discuss about the potential as well as field at point on the axis of dipole. So see, we will write down at a point on the axis of dipole. At a point on the axis of dipole. So for example, this is the line joining 2 point charges. Let the ends of the line joining, this is plus q, this is minus q. This is the midpoint of this line joining. Now on an extension, let P be a point. Let P be a point. If we want to know the electric potential due to this dipole, then what we know about the concept of potential, we have done it in the previous case, that is potential due to one fixed charge at any point is known to be the calculation of work done. Electric potential at any point due to one charge is known to be the work done to bring a plus one test charge from infinity to that point, right? So the same process will be followed here to calculate the potential, calculation of potential at P due to the dipole means it will be the potential at P due to both the charges of the dipole, that is plus q as well as minus q. From the general convention we know this distance is L, this distance is also L, and from the center of the dipole up to the point P, if we take it as a distance r, if we consider, because the dipole length is very small as comparing to the distance of the point from the center of the dipole, which is r. So considering the position of P is at a distance r from the center of the dipole, right? Center of the dipole. So if it is at a distance r from the center of the dipole, that means we now know the respective distances from the individual point charge as well. From this minus q, it is at a distance r minus L, whereas from the plus charge it is at a distance r plus L. So we know the distances of the required point P from both the positive as well as negative charge of the dipole arrangement. So therefore potential at P that can be written 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 plus q divided by r plus L minus q divided by r minus L, because we know that potential due to one point charge is equal to kq by r. So k is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r, so fixed charge divided by the distance of the point from the fixed charge. So at P due to plus q charge, distance will be r plus L. At P due to minus q, distance will be r minus L, because from center to the point P it is taken as r. So taking q common, we can write down q by 4 pi epsilon 0. Then simplifying it, we can write down r minus L minus of r minus L. Got my point? Denominator it will be r square minus L square. Doing LCM, it will be a plus b into a minus b in the denominator, so we can write down a square minus b square, and in numerator it is r minus L minus of r plus L, that is minus r minus L. So from this part we can cancel out r, and we finally get potential is equal to, you can see, minus of q into 2L divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into r square, since r is much greater than L. Taken R is a much larger distance measured as comparing to L. So R square minus L square can be written R square. So it is minus of Q into 2L divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R square. Got my point? Out of which the magnitude of the charge into distance of separation between the plus Q and minus Q, this is called the dipole moment. Okay, so Q into 2L, that can be written as minus of, this is represented by the term capital P, divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R square, where P stands for the dipole moment of the dipole with magnitude of the charge Q, where one charge is plus Q and other one is minus Q, and they are separated by a distance 2L. So magnitude of the charge taken for the dipole into the distance of separation, that is the length of the dipole, is called to be the dipole moment. So that's why we have written, instead of Q into 2L, we can write down it is P. So minus of P by 4 pi epsilon naught R square becomes the potential at a distance R from the center of the dipole along the dipole axis. Could you follow this? Being this is a scalar quantity, yes? Okay, fine. So being this is a scalar quantity, obviously it won't have any direction, and that is the reason why the sign of minus will remain there. Got my point? The availability of sign equation will be there. That's why it will be minus of P divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R square. So this is the way we can get the potential at a point distance R from the center of the dipole along the dipole axis. Similarly, we will next we will find the electric field at the point P, which is an point on the axis of the dipole at a distance R. Clear? So first note down this, then I will do the next part, that is the electric field at R distance from the center of the dipole along the dipole axis. Now calculation of electric field at P due to dipole. Calculation of electric field due to dipole. So now again it is the same process as we have done it for point charge system, that electric field means it is nothing but other than the calculation, the mathematical calculation of the electrostatic force. It is nothing but other than the calculation of electrostatic force on plus 1 test charge. That means this plus charge can repel this plus charge. So I can write down this is electric field at P due to the charge at A, right? Positive charge can repel plus 1 charge. On the other hand, the negative charge will attract the plus 1 test charge, and that can be written by electric field at P due to the charge at B, right? So this is the way we can define the possible forces that can be experienced by the plus 1 test charge at the required point due to the given charges of the dipole placed at A and B. So we can write down therefore the magnitude of these forces, that is electric field force at P due to A, that magnitude will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q divided by square of the distance. So square of the distance means it is R plus L whole square, right? And the force on the plus 1 test charge at P due to the charge at B, that magnitude will be given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q divided by R minus L whole square. These are the two possible forces on the plus 1 test charge at the point P, which is at a distance R from the center of the dipole along the line joining the charges, that is on axis point. So obviously by comparing these two values, we can see the numerator part same, denominator is differing because of this different square term. So less the denominator value, more will be the resulting value. So that means obviously the magnitude of EPB is more than the magnitude of EPA. So therefore we can write down the net force. Therefore net force on plus 1 test charge, net force on plus 1 test charge must be equal to, it is EPB minus EPA, as because they are opposite in direction, so resultant force will be the magnitudical difference between them, and it should be greater value for EPB than EPA, and that difference of force will become 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught can be taken common, and rest part will be, it is Q by R minus L whole square minus of Q by R plus L whole square, right? From where we can further take Q common, so it is Q divided by 4 pi epsilon 0, and once we take Q common, the terms which remains available, 1 by R minus L whole square minus of 1 by R plus L whole square. If we simplify that, we will get R square minus L square to the power whole square, because A minus B into A plus B is A square minus B square, that into in power 2, and finally it will be R plus L whole square in numerator minus R minus L whole square. Isn't it clear? So then if we simplify the numerator part, if we simplify the numerator part of the expression, then net force can be written, net force that can be written Q by 4 pi epsilon naught. In the numerator you can see it is A plus B whole square minus of A minus B whole square. It is an algebraic term, and you must know the result is how much? 4AB, because A square plus B square plus 2AB minus of A square plus B square minus 2AB. So A square plus B square parts will get cancelled out, and it will be 4 into R into L. Got my point? Divided by, this is R square minus L square power 2, which can further be written as Q by 4 pi epsilon naught into 4RL divided by R to the power 4. How we can write down R to the power 4? Since R is much greater than L, which implies that R square minus L square is equivalent to R square only. So it is having whole square of that expression, isn't it? So R square minus L square, that is R square to the power 2, that is ultimately R to the power 4. Then we can cancel out 1 R, and finally we can write down Q by 4 pi epsilon naught into 4L divided by R cube. So if we want to, you can again further simplify it in terms of the dipole moment, and then it will be written 2 into P divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R cube, because Q into 2L can be written dipole moment, 2 into Q into 2L can be written the dipole moment P. So it is 2P divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r cube, and this net force is acting. See, I mean, like diagram wise, it was plus Q, it was minus Q, and the required point was P, where the net force F net, we got it in this direction. That means if the point is taken on the dipole axis and if it is away from negative charge, then net electric field on the dipole axis will be towards the negative charge. On the other hand, if you take the individual charge like this and if you discuss this electric field somewhere here, then this time positive charge, because this distance will now become r minus L in a similar pattern, and this distance will be r plus L, right? So on a plus 1 charge, repulsive force will be more than attractive force. That means what we find this time, here again, if this is the charge Q, this is the charge minus Q, if this is E1, this is E2, right? So net electric field at P will be magnitudically E1 minus E2. Got my point? Isn't it or not? Could you follow what I mean?
Yes.
Previously we discussed the electric field on the dipole axis but away from negative charge, whose value is numerically this, and on the other side of the dipole, or again on the dipole axis only, if we discuss the electric field at the same distance but this time away from the positive charge value, then also we will see the electric field value magnitudically same, and this time also direction will be, you can see this time it is going away from positive charge. In previous case we found it is towards the negative charge. That means one thing is common about the direction of the net force. Either you take the point somewhere at this position, let it P1, or if you discuss the electric field somewhere at P2, you will see that electric field at P2 will be this way, or if you want to discuss it here, then also you will see the electric field at P1 this way. Got my point? So dipole moment is from positive to negative, but you know the electric field strength along the dipole axis will be against the dipole moment. It is dipole moment is from positive to negative, and the electric field appears at anywhere, either away from the negative charge or away from positive charge. You can see the electric field is always from negative charge to positive charge direction. The direction of the electric field at anywhere on the line joining the point charges of the dipole will be in the direction of negative to positive charge, whose value will be written by twice of the dipole moment divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r cube, where r cube will be, r will be the distance, either this or it is this. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we have learned about the potential value as well as the electric field value due to an electric dipole at a point on its axis.